We talked a little bit about this fight not too long ago, but before you were a world champion, the people knew you were the truth, but some people even questioned whether or not he had the goods. Now that you're a world champion, is there anything left for you to prove? What does this fight mean to you?
This fight mean everything to me. It's still a lot to prove. I still have a chip on my shoulder. Like I said, I want to clean out the division. I want to be the last man standing. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to fight the top fighters. I want to beat the top fighters at my division. So, I got Lamont. So it's fight time.
Lamont, when you look at your resume, you fought some top guys. I mean, you can go down the names from Khan to everybody that you've been in the ring with. So given that, what does this fight mean to you at this stage of your career against somebody like Errol Spence?
Well, when I got into boxing, you get into anything, you have goals. First, you want to be, starting in the amateurs, a national champion. You want to fight on the Olympic team. You want to become a world champion as a professional. But the ultimate goal is to be in the Hall of Fame. Honestly speaking, me looking at that, and that's my goal. But at this point in my career, I wouldn't put me into the Hall of Fame. But with the win of a guy like Errol Spence, and if everyone decides to actually fight each other at welterweight, and if I can make it through all of them names, I'll put myself in. So that's why I signed up for these fights, and that's my goal. And of course, I'm going to give them all to get there.
I remember you said, Errol, that, listen, maybe at the beginning we may box a little, but eventually this was probably going to be a dog fight. Do you anticipate on Saturday that's what Brooklyn and the world's going to see, a dog fight, and a fight where Lamont Peterson brings you in and says, okay, you're two of the best body punchers in the game, let's slug it out?
I think so. Like a lot of people are kind of putting this fight to the side, thinking it's going to be an easy fight. And anybody who follows Lamont Peterson, they know, it's going to be a hard fight. He always comes in shape. He's always in dog shape, has a lot of experience and has a lot of skill, boxing and banging. So I know I'm in for a tough fight. I know it could be a dog fight. And that's why, I wanted to fight Lamont. Lamont was the only guy left. Nobody else wanted to fight. So my manager came to me and said, what about Lamont? And I said, yeah, of course. Because nobody wants to fight Lamont. So I took the fight, man. It's going to be a tough fight, man. It's going to be a tough, rugged fight. If you watch Lamont fight, you know that later on in the fight, it gets rough. He starts out boxing, then he ends up standing there in the pain, fighting, tough. So, and you watch my fights, my fights always get rough. Either the guy's fleeing or the guy has no choice but to stand there and fight. So you know what it's gonna be. It's gonna be a real fight. It might not be a lot of talking and a lot of, propaganda, and we push each other and spit in each other's face and things like that. But you know what you get out of Errol Spence and Lamont Peterson fight. You get a dog fight, you get a great fight, you get a fan-friendly fight.
That's what's up. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I think going into this one, I think you fought one time last year, you fought basically one time last year. Will we see Lamont Peterson more active this year in 2018?
Hope so. You left it to me, I'll fight every month. I love boxing that much. But I know, it's a business side of boxing, and I'm okay with that. But I know, with a victory this weekend, it helps me fight more often. You kind of get caught in those situations where a lot of times you're at the top level and you might lose a fight or two, and then those top guys don't want to take that chance. They know your worth, but they can always use that against you. So I think I can regain my footing with that with a victory this weekend.
And when you look at your resume and the number of people you fought, there's no question. People don't question your credentials, but then they'll say, but when it seems like when he's fought top guys, he's come up short. How do you respond to that?
Can't respond to it. Honestly, it's in the history books. It's written. It's over and done with. However you feel about that, I respect it. There's nothing I can do about it.
Errol, you talked about wiping out the welterweight division. Does that mean fighting actively, like 3 times a year? What does that mean to you when you talk about wiping out the division and being more active?
That means staying active. I haven't been active recently. Due to waiting. I had to wait for my type of defense and things like that. And then, I had a lot of guys, not answering the call. A lot of guys, I was in the call these guys saying that, they report to mention my name. They try to make the excuse this and this and that. Okay, I have a belt now. I went over there and got the belt. So what's the excuse now? And I'm still calling it. I have a belt and I'm still calling these dudes out. Danny Garcia, Keith Thurman, all these guys. You won't be sitting here if Keith Thurman or Danny Garcia or Sean Porter said they'll take the fight. I should have been world champion and having to call these dudes out. And Lamont Peterson answered the call like a real fighter, like a real soldier should do.
Yeah.
So what do you see in
Yes,
2018 for you? In a perfect world, what do you see for Errol Spence in 2018?
Well, in the perfect world, I'd be unifying with Keith Thurman or something like that. Or, I want to fight 3 times a year. I'm going to stay active. I'm not going to wait on, I'm not going to wait on anybody or, something you don't get back is time. You don't get time back. So I'm not going to wait around and be waiting on fighters to get ready and, they need to have tune-up fights or they want to fight me in 2020 and things like that. I'm not going to wait at all.
Barry, you've been with Lamont a long time. Why don't you tell the people what you've seen in camp and maybe give them a sense of something that they don't know about Lamont going into this fight?
I can't say it's nothing that'll be different. And you know us, and everybody we prepare for, you could be 0-20 or 20-0. We prepare for you the same way as if you're a world champion, undisputed or what have you. This is a sport that you can never ever sleep on anybody, because all it takes is one punch. And if you listen to what Earl just said, they didn't answer the phone for him. Keith Thurman, Danny Garcia, we were going down the line. Lamont was the same way. He was avoiding, as if they were boogeymen or something. We answered the call for Keith. We answered the call for Danny again. And y'all guys saw that what happened the first time. And Kell Brook. As a matter of fact, before Earl fought Kell, we got the call for Kell. We agreed to the fight, but it went out the window. So I'm with Earl. Wait, I have no problem if I put my son on the stage in the ring versus whomever, because I know how we train. I know what we prepare for. So I don't think that you will see, or we didn't do anything different. We treated this camp like we treat every camp. We train hard. But that's why we don't get up here clowning out and all that old garbage, because for the most part, when people do that, they scared anyway. These what matter in this sport right here. And just like anything else, come Saturday, we'll be ready to do what we do.
Derek, Trainer of the Year. With that comes a lot of notoriety. Does more pressure come with that now? People look at you differently when you're Trainer of the Year and you've got a world champion, a couple of world champions in your stable.
Yeah, it's a little different situation, but I don't buy into it. I don't listen to it. I just kind of keep pushing along and try to continue to be the best that I am, and that to give my guys whatever they need to give them. And I don't buy it. I mean, I've been recognized as that, and I appreciate that, and I love it, but it doesn't make me. I just continue to keep building, keep developing myself and develop my guys, because there's more for me out there. I'm still young in the sport, and so I just keep moving.
I was reading something, and it almost gave the impression that he's a newbie to the scene, and he's splashed on the scene now with Errol and Charlo, but you've been in the fight game a long time. Now you're going up against, training-wise, one of the best. Is there any kind of competition between the trainers when you get to fight?
No, it's not. I mean, I've been in boxing for 40 years. Started boxing when I was 5 years old, 45 now. And